are live. Hello, everybody, and how y'all guys doing? Everybody
Hello.
doing
Good
okay
morning.
today? And
All
we got
good.
seven people in the room, but I've already been out and had my breakfast this morning and rode around the neighborhood and did the 7-Eleven. Hey, Samuel, how you doing? Um, made my 7-Eleven run and just enjoying myself. Um, for those of you who aren't living here, we today in Spencer, we were just talking about this before we came on. The air quality up here in Chiang Mai today is probably the worst that it's been since I can remember. I mean, Lek and I went out to breakfast this morning and looked up at the mountains, and they're gone. I mean, you can see probably about 300 to 400 meters out. You can see, and after that, it's just a wall of smoke. It's really bad. Hey, John, how you doing? But it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it. Wear a wear a mask and try to stay in. We've got 3 air cleaners going all the time, and all the windows are closed. In my bathroom, I have got. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Um, my exhaust fans suck the air from outside, so I've had to put filters on my windows in my bathroom to keep the air clean. And you change them once a week, and they're black. Uh, it's unreal. But Spencer and I were talking about it yesterday about riding bicycles in this in this crappy ass weather. It's just not worth it. What's the situation down in Bangkok, Charlie?
It's bad here as well. I think it's worse in Chiang Mai because you have that effect where you're in between two mountain ranges. So things, crappy air just gets stuck there for some reason or other. Yesterday and today has improved a little bit, but it's all over Asia. It happens all over Asia and
Yeah.
Southeast Asia anyway. I don't know about Northern Asia, but like I've said in other videos, from the west coast of India to the eastern end of Indonesia, once the rainy season is over, they just start burning everything that they don't want, and it's an annual problem, and everybody, the newspaper headlines all talk about, oh, something needs to be done about this, and nothing ever gets done. It's like I've been here 12 years, and it's the same routine, almost 13 years. It's the same routine over and over again. And I've just realized it's something you need to adapt to yourself. Don't expect it to change.
Yeah. I don't think it ever will. I think we're going to be dealing with this, and it's just the way it is. And Lek and I were talking about it. We love living in Chiang Mai, and it's just something we're just going to have to deal with.
It's a little bit better. One of the reasons I chose Bangkok as a place to live, I had a place in Ho Chi Minh City. At the same time, I had a small apartment here in Bangkok, and I used to spend time in both cities. And there were a number of reasons that I chose Bangkok. It wasn't just one reason, but a big part of it was the air in Bangkok is actually a little bit better than it is in Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City was grim. It was like Chiang Mai.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when we went to Hanoi, the air was worse in Hanoi than I remember it being in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
In the time that we were there. Just with all the windows closed, air cleaners, is the air quality okay within the house? So no, with the air cleaners going in the house, I don't have that much of a problem inside. I think I'm showing my cleaners will show the AQI, and I think it's in my room, like right here. I think I can look at it right now. It's at 11. So yeah, it's definitely doing the job. Spencer, how do your air cleaners have meters on them
Yeah,
in
they
your
do.
house?
As long as you keep all your doors and windows shut, I mean, that'll help stop stuff coming in the house. And then the air purifiers should pick up the rest. We have 5 air purifiers in our house. Sadly, 3 of them now, the filters are bad. So I just ordered 3 more filters.
Yeah.
But they're you can tell because they start working a little harder when something like smoke comes in or something.
Hmm. Yeah, I've got three of the Hataris, and I just ordered filters for them.
Mm.
But and they run all the time. I run them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even when the air is good, I still keep them going to try to keep the dust down, because it's, you can tell, because when you go outside and you wipe off your windows of your car, and then you come back out 2 hours later, and there's
Sure.
just a layer of
Yeah.
dust on them. It's
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff you're breathing. But
That's why nobody really washes their car right now.
no, I haven't washed my
It's just a
car
waste
in
of
over a
money.
month.
Yeah.
How many filters do you go through for smoke season? Usually one. My
Yeah.
filters are good for 6 months, and
Yeah.
I'll change them every 6 months. And I think they're 900 baht a piece. Um, Now you can get that filter paper, and I use that filter paper too sometimes, and I'll put it in front of them, and you can get a little bit longer usage out of them um, by changing the filter paper. But generally saying about 6 months is about all you can get out of them. And some of
I
those,
have.
go ahead.
I was just going to say I have all Xiaomi brands in the house, and they have different filters that you can order. And the ones I just ordered now are HEPA filters, so
Mhm.
they should help with the PM 2.5. But I mean, they have, I don't know, 4 or 5 different filters you can order from, like a charcoal one and a normal one, formaldehyde one.
Hmm.
So hopefully these HEPA ones will actually work better than the ones I have in there now.
Yeah. And Fred says it's the worst I have seen in Mesai. Can't even see the foothills. Maybe, yeah. See, we got the same thing here in Chiang Mai. You cannot see anything. Um, the bases of the mountains are gone. Usually I can walk out and see the temples and things in the mountains. You can't see anything. But that's is what it is. We go through it every year, but this year seems to be a little bit worse than last year. And last year I don't remember it being so bad. You know, what do you think, Spencer?
Oh yeah, I mean, COVID for the last few years has kept the
Well, that's
smoke
true. I
down.
forgot about that. Yeah,
But I mean, if you go back pre-COVID, it was bad.
yeah,
So I think it's just we're going back to the normal events of life here. It's just going to be smoggy.
it's pretty bad. But I don't. What are you gonna do? Nothing you can do. Just try to protect yourself. I hate always wearing a mask outside, but you kind of have to now.
Mm-hmm.
But and I don't. Lek was saying, about the food that you're eating that's cooked outside and stuff. Is that crap getting in your food? Is it going to hurt you? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But how is your Charlie? How is your yoga going? Review.
Yeah, it's going well actually. I practice every other day. Just for people who are watching, I've been a yoga practitioner and a teacher of Bikram yoga for over 20 years now. And I had gotten away from it, the COVID malaise. It's like everything locked down. I had to shut the studio, and I got a little fat. I put on 20 pounds, and it really was difficult for a while for me to overcome that. Getting back into my yoga practice, which I've been trying to do for well over a year now. I guess this is we come under the topic of if you're in shape and you're old, stay that way, because getting back in shape is hard when you're older. At least it was for me. And I kept getting back spasms every time I practiced, and I'd have to take a week off until my
Yeah.
back healed. And that's not a way to stay in shape. Is practicing 2-3 days and then taking a
Mhm.
week off. That just I wasn't losing the weight. So the, uh, the the funny part of it is that the way I lost the weight was through another physical malady. I get gout if I eat the wrong stuff. And when I was in the States traveling around, I got a gout outbreak. And I was on the road, so I was living in hotels and stuff like that. And the cure for gout, when I get it, I've got it maybe 5 times in the last 12 years, is to eat vegetarian. If I eat vegetarian, it goes away. It's related to diet. So, if you're living in a hotel and eating vegetarian, it's like you have a limited diet, right? It's hard to, find food, especially when it's in the Philippines. The Philippines is, food isn't that great to begin with. The upshot was that I lost 15 pounds. And when I got back here to Bangkok, I started practicing again, and the back pain had gone. So, this malady of, getting sick with, getting injured with gout turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I was forced into eating carefully, and, I couldn't snack, and sugar is another thing that I need to eliminate when I'm trying to control that. And I lost 15 pounds. And when I lost the 15 pounds, the backaches went away. And at first I was cautious because, like I said, I've been dealing with them for well over a year now, about a year and a half, trying to get back, exercise my way back into losing the weight, which is what I used to do when I was younger. I'd just work harder and the weight would go away. And, that just wasn't working. So since that weight has disappeared, I've been practicing my yoga every other day now for like 6 weeks. And I'm 29 again. so yeah, I feel really, really good. And what's happening is I set my yoga studio up to accommodate more people again, and I have guests coming, with people traveling now. I'm not teaching anymore. I'm not reopening the studio. I used to have a commercial studio where I would, let people come in and I charge them. And I don't have the right permits or the right visa or anything else. So I don't want to be bothered with all of that. So, but I do practice every other day. And if somebody knows how to practice Bikram, if you're experienced and you want to practice, DM me and, we'll set something up. You can come and practice with us. I don't want new students. My friend Paul, who just arrived, he's been coming to practice with me. And yesterday, when he came to practice, he says, "Hey, I have these 3 friends. I want to bring them along to yoga." I said, "Have they ever done it?" And he's like, "No." I said, "No, don't bring them." I mean, he was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, really." I said, I don't want to deal with, because then I can't focus on my own practice. I don't want to teach anymore. So, yeah, I'm like really enjoying, the fact that I'm 73 years old and I'm getting fit again. I don't know what peak fitness looks like for an old guy like me, but I'm going to find out. It's like,
somebody says, I've seen pictures of Chiang Mai from 1905 during the burning. Yeah, it's been going on for years. It's just the way it is. And we were talking about this yesterday. I think Spencer and I were, it's hard to tell where exactly it's coming from. It could be coming from other countries. It could be coming from the, the mountains here. It's just hard to say. But
it's going to take more than just Thailand to solve this problem. It's going to take the whole ASEAN conference of the nations here, like Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, are all going to have to get together and work on a plan, because it's not just Thailand it's sending in the smoke. It's these other countries, and the smoke's just drifting down.
Yeah, a lot of it's coming from other countries because, they're seeing it in Pattaya. Charlie, you're seeing some of it in Bangkok, and that's not the mountains burning. That's, that's something a little bit different. Is there no regulations on burning from the top? Yeah, there's, they've put no burn orders out, but nobody listens to it.
Yeah, it's against the law.
Yeah, some people, like I said, around my house where they would burn the fields. They're not burning them now. They're not. The fields are just wide open. Some of it is, but now you can ride through the neighborhood, and then you'll look behind somebody's house and you'll see the smoke billowing up. When they're burning their trash or something like that. And
right.
You can't say anything to them because they've been doing it for years, and it's just the way it is.
They think their little smoke, from their palm trees or whatever, the leaves isn't such a big deal. But when you add all that up, it just adds fuel to the fire, basically.
Yeah. Thai government will spray the sky with a fire hose. Yeah, that's about what it needs. Now, I saw something the other day where they are seeding the clouds, and but so far we haven't seen anything. Burn map shows the most smoke is moving west from Laos to Cambodia. Yeah, it's like I said, it's hard to tell exactly where it's coming from, but the problem that we have here in Chiang Mai is that makes it worse than anywhere else is we are surrounded by mountains 360 degrees. And when the smoke comes in, it's got nowhere to go. It doesn't blow out the other side, and it just kind of lays in the valley. And you can see it when you see a fire off in the distance, and you see the smoke. It'll come up, and it'll just kind of lay, and you'll just see a plateau of smoke over the ground that doesn't go anywhere, and it's just what we're doing. Hello from California, USA. Okay, is California still in the United States? I saw it where they were gonna disassociate themselves.
Mm-mm.
I was reading something about that the other day, and it just made me laugh. And I'm not going to get into politics because I don't want to talk about, but it just made me laugh. It was funny. Hey, Crypto Chris, how you doing? But yeah, I shouldn't really complain too much because I moved away in 2017, and because of the smoke, and then it wasn't what 3 months later I was right back here, and things haven't changed. Just the way it is. That layer of smoke is the inversion layer. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. More like northern Mexico. That's funny. Oh gosh, but I don't know. We'll just wait and see what happens, and hopefully, if it rains today or it rains tomorrow, it'll at least give us 2 or 3 days of decent weather, and I'd say probably by middle of April.
After
First of May.
Songkran, it's supposed to start raining.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the rainy season.
yeah. How bad is the air in Chiang Mai? The air is really, really bad. I don't know exactly what I've stopped looking at the AQI that's listed on the apps and stuff. It's got so bad that those signs that they have on the roads that show the little smiley face. They've shut those off. You can't find any of them. The one on Hangdong Road, they've shut that one off. Now the one on Canal Road, I haven't been by that one, so I don't really know. California is a lot of rain and a lot of snow.
We could use that.
Yeah, amen. Is the air in Chiang Mai bad for often outside of burning? No, not really. At least that I've noticed. I mean, when it's outside of burning season, I mean we get some really nice air, and it's just real pleasant, and you got a great view of the mountains, unobstructed view. You go out and breathe, and we can, like I was saying before, you can basically tell by the amount of dust that's on your car. How bad it is outside, but usually during outside of burning season, it's not that bad. But again, I still keep my air cleaners going all the time. Do you leave yours on all the time, Spencer?
I do.
Yeah.
Do, yeah.
Yeah, we do, and just we've got most of the air conditioner units here have filters built in too, and they'll pick up a lot of it. Now that's another thing. How often do you clean your air conditioners?
Twice a year.
Yeah, we do the same thing. I just had ours cleaned here. California also have back ones too. Maybe
You want a funny story about cleaning air conditioning? I rent a house, and the woman who is my landlady has multiple properties. She has 4 houses right on this little lane here, and she has condos, and that's her business. She rents and manages properties, rental properties, and she's good at it. She has a son who gets involved too. He's a big old fat guy, but he's a little on the lazy side. She's basically the woman who runs it, and she's very good. It's one of the reasons I stay here. She's a good landlady. If there's a problem, she fixes it right away.
Mm-hmm.
But they come and clean the air conditioners twice a year. And a bunch of them. It's a 4-story house, a bunch of air conditioners, right? So last week, this crew of 3 guys, it was a new contractor, and he came in. He was very good. He's much better than the old one, right? He came in, and he did a good job. He made sure he didn't make a mess, and I was watching him as he was cleaning. They did a good, thorough job. But later that evening, my girlfriend's sister comes over. My Thai is beginning to get a little better. I've been spending some time studying Thai, and I'm beginning to understand more. I'm still not real comfortable trying to have a conversation, but I am understanding more and more as time goes by. And I was sitting at our table, and there's my girlfriend, her sister, and two of the kids, and they're sitting around. And the air conditioner guys are just starting to pack up their tools and go, right? And I hear the sister talking to my girlfriend, and she says, "Tell Charlie that you have to pay for the air conditioner guy and make him give you the money." Which the landlady pays for it. It's part of it's part of my rent deal, right? They clean their own air conditioners, and I understood what she was saying. She didn't use Charlie because she knows I would pick that one up. Which is boyfriend, tell your boyfriend that you need to, so. And Boo just laughed. She goes, "No, he's not stupid," or something to that effect. He knows that is. And I thought, man, this is a woman I've been with for 6 years. Now, I don't think Boo Cow thinks that way. I mean, she's pretty upfront. Her sister does.
She's trying to squeeze some money out of you, huh?
Yeah, really, get some more money out of the farang. It's like,
yeah.
Damn, it's like you can't lose sight of that fact. When you're here, you're like it or not, you're still. You're an ATM.
You're a target. Yeah, you're a
an
target.
ATM first, and everything else comes later.
That's funny. It says, I came back from Bangkok riding BTS and MRT to San Francisco, then rode BART, Bay Area Rapids. Felt like I came back to a third world country. People are smoking weed and doing meth on the train. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, but they're not doing it on the they don't do it out in the public. I haven't seen that much of it in public. Have you, Spencer?
No, but there's dispensaries everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Weed shops on every corner now, it seems like.
Oh, gosh, I know.
Even
There's plenty of places where you can go and sit and smoke weed. I mean, if you go and buy weed, and people that do smoke tell me that it's expensive, that these little boutique shops that, like Spencer just said, are everywhere. You should come here. I walked to go to Hitter's supermarket. I passed 3 of them. I mean, there's no coffee shops, but there's 3. I guess you get coffee in the weed shops now, but they're everywhere, right? And you can go and sit in there and smoke them. On Soy 11, Bill, where you stay, when you come when you come to visit, you usually stay around Soy 11. You walk down Soy 11, you smell it there. People are smoking outside.
I've never have.
Well,
I've seen the dispenser, just the place they sell it. I've didn't see anybody smoking it.
There's a truck there. It looks like an ice cream truck that sells it, the weed truck.
Yeah.
But I smell it when I walk down Soy 11. But other than that, I don't encounter it very much. I think they buy it in these little boutique shops and they sit there and they smoke and get a little stoned.
Yeah, or go home and smoke it.
But there's a lot of them. That's for sure.
Yeah, there is.
Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat there. Thank you very much. Somebody did a video. Bangkok Pat did a video on the dispensaries in Bangkok, and he said they're popping up everywhere, just about everywhere you go. Now here, right across, I just noticed this, right across from Hangdong Market is a place that has just opened up. It's another, and not only are they selling weed, but they're selling the vapes.
All right.
Yeah.
Which is illegal.
Yeah. I don't know how they're getting away with it, but they're doing it now. The other thing that I noticed too is I've been seeing a lot of advertisements on Facebook, and it's a company that's right here in Chiang Mai. I can't remember the name of it, but they're in Hangdong, and they're selling like crazy.
Yeah, I see the ads on Facebook all the time for all kinds of crazy.
I can't remember the name of the shop, but and they'll deliver it right to your house. Mm-hmm. You just order it online.
Yeah, they'll even pre-roll them into a cigarette for you and mail them to you.
in my street, there is weed being grown in every second house, even on the road. Just, yeah, I haven't really noticed here, but I haven't really looked, but I'm sure it's about the same. Uh, I don't know. But I have, there has only been one time where I've seen somebody smoking it, and that was outside of a restaurant inside the moat. And I won't mention the name of it because it's not their fault, but somebody was actually outside. But that's the only time I've seen anybody actually smoking it. So I don't know. We saw someone selling weed off a card table in Central Plaza. Yeah, they can do that. When I was in Patia on Walking Street, they just had little card tables set up on the side of the street, and they had little stools there, and they had their marijuana in the little bowl there, and you could buy whatever you wanted to. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever change that or whether they'll ever regulate it or not. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, it's driving into tourism.
Yeah. Maybe it's not the rice fields causing. It may not be you got a good point there. It may not be the rice fields.
All the weed smokers.
Yeah, yeah. But we have. There has always been a conception that it could be, them burning the corn or burning this or burning that or burning the mushrooms, but there have been some fires recently that have been so far up in the woods that they've had to actually take motorcycles up to get to them, to fight to them, and they're just saying there's no way that there's no corn up there, and there's not mushrooms there, so who knows. Love to try the smoke shop edibles, but my job randomly tests for drugs. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't realize it when they come here is, and this happened about 6 or 7 months ago, a bunch of Thai guys went down to Malaysia and they urine tested them, and they tested positive for marijuana, and they were actually charged. So, if you come here on vacation and you eat the edibles and then you go back and then your job tests you, you could have some problems.
Yeah, I saw something about some Thai guys that took some marijuana cigarettes.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Malaysia, and they got caught, and they're like, "Well, it's illegal in Thailand, but it's not in Malaysia.
Yeah,
you got to follow their laws."
That would be a rude awakening.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's kind of like the bullet in the suitcase thing, but you have to you have to abide by the laws that are in that particular country. But who knows? People have told me, you need to try it. You need to take it for your cancer and whatever. I had somebody message me on one of the groups that I was in, and they said, "Oh, it's a cure for cancer and all that stuff." I said, "I'll stick to what my doctors tell me. I'm not going to go that route. If you're stuck at home, I'm sure a smoke or two won't hurt. It's really that big of a market for the weed there." It's hard to say. You with the amount of dispensers, places you can buy it here, there's got to be a definite, a good market for it. Now, whether it's, I don't know if it's retirees. I like I said, I don't know.
I'd say the bulk of it's probably just the young tourists coming here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are from countries where it's not allowed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we go to Thailand and smoke some weed while we're there. It's legal.
Yeah. But
I had read an article on I forget where it was. Maybe it was The Economist, one of my nerdy economic magazines. They were talking about how the pot business here in Thailand. Just for a quick overview, Thailand, kind of made it legal out of nowhere. Suddenly, pot was legal, and there were no regulations. It's just legal. Boom. Okay, everything's okay now. And it was like the wild west of pot development. People everywhere started growing it, selling it, and what's happened very quickly, actually, within a year's time, are these stores that we're talking about here in Bangkok. Some of the ones that are going up, 3 of them have gone up within a short walk of where I live, and within the last few months. And they're nice places. They're they've been renovated storefronts, that were not in use, and they went in and made them really, really nice, like an expensive coffee shop. And some of them serve coffee, some of them serve food. But the thing is to sell you edibles and other marijuana, I suppose. I haven't actually been in any of them. I've taken a look inside of them, and they are very, very nice. But what's happened with these things is, so many of them have proliferated, and people who smoke pot tell me that they're not cheap. That they're able, that when it was illegal, you could get pot more cheaply than what these stores sold. So the prices have gone up too. What has improved, I'm told, is the quality. That you can get really, really good pot that'll really bend your mind very quickly. And I haven't smoked pot since the '70s, and I don't intend to. But the quality of pot is apparently improved, but the price hasn't gone down, which is so typical of Asia. It's like, with all of this supply is suddenly available, you would think that would drive the price down, and for here, some reason it doesn't. But my prediction is that you're going to see a lot of these shops go out of business. The Economist article that I read said that the incidents, the people who smoke pot have not really increased. Now, I don't know how they would have gotten that information, but according to the Economist, there aren't more people smoking pot. It's the same amount of people that are smoking pot, and some of them are still buying them from their old dealers anyway, because they can get it, they can get it less expensively from them. So it's not the big business boom that people expected it to be. And with all of this investment into these new shops, it'll be interesting to see how many of them last. Like I said, I pass 3 of them all the time when I walk, depending on which way I walk, and I never see anybody in them. It's like,
I never have either.
So it's like, I bet you. There's one in Chiang Mai that I found interesting. It's a coffee shop, and I didn't even know that it was a pot shop too. And it's that tattoo shop. What's that main drag there on in Chiang Mai? With the
Loy Crow?
What is it?
Yeah, Loy Crow. Loy Crow,
right? Loy Crow.
Yeah.
One of the first times I come up to visit you, you recommended a hotel there. If you recall. It's a big old hotel, which is a very nice hotel. The only reason I didn't like it is the hot water was a little sketchy. So, that's why I wouldn't go back there. They didn't have consistent hot water. But other than that, it was a decent hotel, I suppose. And right next to it is a tattoo shop. It's a tattoo shop and a coffee shop. That's what it's displayed outside. And I just liked that kind of tattoo art that they were displaying. And I thought, let me go in and have a cup of coffee. They had a big, expensive cappuccino machine. So I went in, and sure enough, the coffee was pretty good. And I sat down, and as I'm waiting for the cappuccino, I'm looking at the menu, and it says a pot menu. It's like they're selling pot there too. So you can go get stoned on pot, get a tattoo, and have a cup of coffee all at the same time.
Go.
And they had good coffee, and that's right on Loy Crow Street. It's like, I recommend it. That's it.
Oh Lord! Well, I
didn't get a tattoo.
You didn't get a
You didn't get a tattoo?
No, I didn't get a tattoo.
You missed out.
Shame.
That's funny. It says booze is the biggest thing up here. They may smoke after drinking. Yeah, it's about the same thing here. Canada has the best pot in the world and the best prices. I don't know.
Who does? Wait a minute. Don't take that off. Who has the best pot in the world?
Canada.
Canada has the best ice in the world. What the hell is it? Grow pot in Canada.
Oh, that's funny. But,
Canada? Really? Pot's a tropical plant, isn't it? I remember back when I was smoking pot back in the '70s, Thai stick was like the thing.
Yeah. That was the big thing.
Yeah, it's like the get Thai stick, good Thai stick, or Hawaii had good pot back then. They had a name for that too. I can't remember what it was, but
Hawaii. Maui Wowie was what it was called.
Yes.
You remember back in the '70s when the Khmer Rouge was big over there in Cambodia, and Pol Pot was in charge and all that. You remember that story about those Americans that came to Thailand, bought all this Thai stick, and were going to take it back to the States on a sailboat. And they somehow drifted into Cambodian waters and were arrested and put in that notorious prison, that whatever it's called, Stalag 13 or whatever it's called, and they were killed for that.
Damn.
They were murdered by Pol Pot and his regime. But their intention was to buy all this Thai stick, which they did, and put it on a sailboat and sell it back to the U.S. But they didn't make it back, obviously.
Yeah.
They went left when they should have went right.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
The story of that, what do they call it? The Golden Triangle. There's a place in northern Thailand where Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos all come together. I think
Right.
So they call it the Golden Triangle. And back in the day, around the Vietnam War era, that was a very dangerous place. That they trafficked a lot of drugs. I think heroin and other. I don't know. It was a drug area. I'm not a big expert on who does what.
Yeah, they made a movie about that.
Well, I did some research when I made a video about Jim Thompson, and Jim Thompson was a silk manufacturer who, prior to being a silk manufacturer, was a CIA. Well, actually, OSS. He was an OSS operative in World War II. The OSS became the CIA, and he stayed here in Thailand. And he was just this colorful guy. So when I was researching the Jim Thompson story, I read this book that was really interesting, right? And the way that whole Golden Triangle developed, there was a general in charge of a regiment, I guess, or in charge of a lot of soldiers during World War II that was sent into China, up through Laos into China, to assist Chiang Kai-shek. Chiang Kai-shek was the guy who opposed Mao, and Chiang Kai-shek eventually went to Taiwan and established the country of Taiwan, because he lost to Mao's insurgents. Mao unified China, right? But this Thai general and his regiment were up there trying to assist Chiang Kai-shek, and all of a sudden Chiang Kai-shek and his people, abandoned the mainland and went to Taiwan, and this general was forgotten about. I mean, everybody forgot about him. He had this guy with a small army, and this very powerful, arrogant general was left there. I mean, they stopped supplying. They forgot he even existed. So he's marching his men through Laos back to Thailand, and he's the guy that discovered all of this drug stuff being grown in Laos, and he and his men, organized that. So that was the beginning of that whole drug trade. Was actually a Thai general who, the Allies forgot about when the war was over, that kind of thing. And he established that whole route as he marched with his army back to Thailand. And when he got back to Thailand, he was pissed, and he still had an army. He wound up becoming a prime minister. I'm sorry I've forgotten his name, but he was a prime minister of Thailand for a long time, and he was known for being a loudmouth drunk. And he was also a drug kingpin. Just in case you want to know, the roots of the stories of how Thailand became a druggy kind of place. Well, that's how it started with a general who they forgot about, the forgotten general.
Damn.
Forgotten general.
Don't leave your generals out in the woods like that. They get angry.
There's still roadblocks up here in the Golden Triangle. Yeah, it's true that they still have the roadblocks up, and they still catch quite a few people, and they catch them bringing yaba in from Burma in the woods all the time, and they get some hellacious shootouts too. It's still pretty bad. I remember that old Cheech and Chong movie about Thai stick. That's funny. I think we've all watched that. Interesting. But it's for a long period of time up there in that area, that was where most of the opium came from. In northeastern Thailand and over into Burma and Laos, and that's kind of how coffee got started. Because back in when you and I went up on Doi Pui. And we met that. Trip. Yeah, that was a good trip, and we met that coffee grower up there. Where his grandfather, his father, or his grandfather?
The picture on the wall. It was his grandfather.
The picture. The picture of the wall of his grandfather talking to the king, King Rama IX, who was teaching him how to grow coffee instead of opium, and that's pretty much how coffee got so popular here, because the king showed them that they could make money growing coffee.
Legally.
Yeah, illegally, and you know, that's how it kind of transcribed. That's why we have so many coffee shops up here.
Three on
And that's
every
a half
street
hour
in there.
drive from where you live. You live
Yeah.
right near where they used to grow a lot of stuff prior
Yeah.
to coffee. Yeah.
Well, I had a friend of mine. He's no longer with us, but he would come to Chiang Mai often. He'd been coming for years, and he told me stories that he would go to the village up there, and there was a hut up there on the mountain where they would go in and they would smoke opium. He'd pay $5 and he could sit there all afternoon and smoke opium, and just, I mean, just right out in the open, right there where we were, up there on that mountain. So
I'd like to go back there. That was a nice place. I remember it was a difficult road, though.
yeah, I think they fixed it now. But when we went up, they were paving the road. I think it's fixed now. Yeah, after I come back up, we'll go back up there again. Three of us will make a trip up there, and there's a back way up there too if we wanted to hike up. We could go up to the lake up there and go up the back route. I've come down it, but I've never gone up it. But it's best cup of coffee we've had. Yeah, Chiang Mai's got some great coffee, but there is a way to get up there a back way. It's not a road you could drive a car. You'd have to hike it, but it's a nice walk. Make a good trek. Best coffee, yeah. It's funny, but we have so many coffee shops here, and they all have decent coffee. I sent some to a friend of mine in the States, and he and another person drank the coffee that I sent, and they said that the coffee, that it tasted like it had a more earthly taste to it. It was just grown better in the ground. So I don't know. I've got two places I buy coffee. I buy coffee at Alti Coffee, which is right down the street from me, where they roast it, and then I'll get it from the Mountain Coffee inside the moat, where this old guy, I think his name is Noy or something like that, but he roasts the beans the old way with the kettle, and it's decent coffee. So you get some really good coffee here. But I think at some point in time we may have more pot shops than coffee shops. I don't know. We have to wait and see what happens. But other than that, who knows? But yeah, we'll when you come back up, we'll make that trip again. The three of us will go up there, and we can. There's another place too. When we went up that road, the day that you and I went up, they were paving the road, and I think it had rained the day before. It was just terrible, terrible, terrible drive. I call that the jackass ride, because one time a friend of mine told me to go up there, and he meant for me to take the motorcycle, and I took the car, and it was just, it's not a good place to drive. But
was that the Simone Loop?
No, this is when you go past Deutsche Tep, and you go all the way to the end, and you got the Hmong village down on the left hand side,
Right.
and then you've got a road that shoots to the right that takes you up to Oi Pui. And basically what it does is it brings you to the backside of Hoi Tin Cow, that lake up there on the
Oh yeah, right.
on canal. If you go up behind there, you'll get to the same place. And if you've never been there, it's a really neat place. There's a little village, and they have they have some restaurants and coffee shops, and it's kind of neat. They also have the what was it, those carts that the Hmongs drive. I don't know what they call those things. You know, the ones that the carts that they roll down the mountains. Yeah, they have those up there too. It's really neat. See, when eating out, are the French fries frozen or freshly cut? Depends on where you get them.
Yeah, usually frozen, but some people do them freshly cut, and it has to do with the kind of potatoes they grow here. They're not real good for frying.
Hmm.
You know, you remember Papa Rocks?
Yeah.
You know, he used to make his own French fries, but he always tell us that he'd have to like leave them out in the sun for a long time just to extract the moisture from them before he could, fry them or whatever. So it's not the same kind of potato like we have in the USA where we have like russet potatoes that actually are good for frying. These potatoes that grow here are more like new potatoes and are not really that great for doing that. But if you go to a place like Wild Hogs, I mean, he does those big British French fries from scratch.
The only place that I've had Wild Hogs, and then Homeless Burger up on the mountains, where a place I've been meaning to take you there, Spencer, but we just haven't got over there. I've sat there and watched him cut the potatoes right there when he fries them, and those are the only places that I know of. Other than that, you get a cross between French fries like McDonald's or French fries like Burger King, one or the other. Greetings from Oman. Go ahead.
Being that we're on the topic of French fries, 5 weeks ago I was in Dumaguete in the Philippines, right? And I made a video about how crappy the food is in the Philippines, which is basically true. They don't, you don't think of great cuisine when you think of the Philippines. But while I was there, I got a great recipe for French fries at a place called Ground Zero. It's a coffee shop restaurant in Dumaguete in the Philippines. And I thought, I should talk about the good stuff too. This was like a fantastic recipe. And I was trying to eat vegetarian. Like I said, there's a limited diet when you have vegetarian, if you're trying to eat vegetarian, I do that for health reasons. And so I ordered French fries. I went there for lunch and I said, give me the French fries, right? And the French fries came. They were French fries. They were like American cut French fries. And it had chopped red onion. They were salted, chopped red onion, and Parmesan cheese. I was like, this is weird, right? But hey, I was hungry. I ate it. It's great. What a nice combination of flavors. I'm going to make a short video about it. It's just like, it's like a gift from the Philippines. Actually, the restaurant's owned by an American, but we'll overlook that. It was actually in the Philippines. and you figure this out. Just, French fries, salt, chopped red onion, and Parmesan cheese in amounts that suit your taste. I just came home and made it my own way, and now I have it like once a week. I'll have it for lunch, and it's like really a fantastic taste combination of stuff. Yeah. Now here's the thing: we have one of those air dryers. Have you guys? Not air dryer. What do you call it? Air cooker.
Air fryer.
Air fryer. Yeah.
Air cooker. It's like an air. They don't come out as good in that. They don't tell you that. They tell you if you get this air cooker, you're going to save the world. If you have an air cooker, you'll save the world. And everybody has them now, right? But sure enough, my girlfriend got in the trend and she brought it. Well, actually, it is a better way to make French fries. What makes French fries unhealthy is boiling them in hot oil. Apparently, that changes the chemistry of them somehow. So I started making my French fries in the air cooker. And then that's good. It's like that unhealthy stuff tastes good, right? But with the onions and the Parmesan cheese, it kind of brings it back to life. So there's a free recipe for you. Air cook your American cut frozen French fries, add salt, chopped red onion, and Parmesan cheese. And great recipe. Thank you, Philippines. Even though it was an American restaurant.
How much are roasted coffee beans per pound? I'm thinking, see, we go by kilos here, which is 2 pounds. So kilo of coffee, I'm thinking it's probably going to be around $6. Wouldn't you say, Spencer? Charlie?
I don't know. We use those cups over here.
Oh, you use, let me figure it out here. I get 5 I get 500 grams, which is, let's say, almost a pound, and I pay 205 about, well, I'm going to say about $5 a pound. That would probably be pretty much standard, I think. And it depends on where you get it. If you go to Starbucks, I'm sure it might be, you might have to mortgage your house or something like that.
Yeah.
But most of the places are pretty reasonable. What kind of American food do you guys really miss that you can't get here? The thing that I
Nacho
miss,
chips, which Bill can get. Apparently, there's a place up in
yeah,
Chiang Mai.
my wife makes them.
I can't find good nacho chips here. It really annoys me.
Huh. Well, I don't know how good they are, but we get them at Macro. You have a Macro there, don't you? Don't you have a? You don't know?
Sure.
Yeah.
They got tons of them in Bangkok.
Yeah. Yeah, Macro has them.
Where I am, I have two American, Western style supermarkets. One is Foodland, and the other is Tops. Now, I also have a Big C that I can make it to, but Big C's kind of far away. So I got a Tops and Foodland, and that's where I get my Western stuff.
I have to say the only thing that I really miss is a good T-bone steak. I've not found one here. I'm just, nothing that matches Roadhouse or, those kind of places like that. I've not found it. When I did go back to the U.S. in 2014, I think I ate about 5 steaks. I brought the bones back for my little dog, but that's the only thing that I miss. What do you miss, Spencer?
Same thing. I mean, the Angus beef, from the
Yeah.
States is here. It's like you said, it's very suspect. Thai beef.
Yeah.
You look at a Thai cow, they're skinny and their skin's hanging off of them. And then you look at this supposed Australian beef, but most of that stuff's pretty low quality Australian beef.
Yeah, I've
It's
not
not very
tasted
good.
any that I really liked. Yeah, beef.
So yeah, the
has-
beef.
Yeah, the beef you can't get good beef here. It just it's just the way it is. How can people go to Starbucks in Chiang Mai? That's not. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would not, but they do. They flock to those places, and you're paying, $5 for a cup of coffee, and I
It was
won't.
actually $4. I kind of like Starbucks. Bill is a Starbucks hater.
I won't go there. I won't.
I just
spend the
like
dime.
I like a good cappuccino, and the way
Mhm.
Starbucks makes it suits my taste. So I like
Yeah.
Starbucks. So there.
I won't spend.
Thailand has the equivalent to Starbucks though, called Amazon Coffee,
Yeah,
and those Amazon shops are everywhere too, just like Starbucks is.
but they
I
don't
find
charge.
Amazon, of course, when you're on the road, Amazon is the place to stop because they have them in the gas station plazas, right? So you go in.
Right.
Number one, they don't have equal. Kun mi equal by clap, and they don't even know what you're talking about. That's that means do you have equal? So I like equal in my coffee. They don't have it. So that's an easy solution. Just carry your own when you're on the road. That's what I do. Because you don't have much choice other than Amazon, and they have some pretty nice shops. There's an Amazon shop in Loy province, near where my girlfriend's family has farmland, and it's beautiful. It's overlooking the mountains when they're not covered with smoke, and it's just gorgeous because Loy province has some very nice mountain scenery, and it's in a garden and it's lovely. But I found that coffee a little bit on the bitter side. Now, again, that's a matter of taste. This is all subjective stuff. So some people might like that, But if I had a choice, if there was a Starbucks next to an Amazon, I'd go into the Starbucks.
Yeah, I like Thai iced coffee street vendors more, except for they do put a lot of sugar in just about anything here you get. If they put sugar in it, they put too much sugar in it for our taste anyway.
Thais love their sugar.
Oh,
Sugar and spice.
yeah.
I had a friend here who just came back. He's lived in Asia for a long time, but he was stuck in the States for the last 3 years. Well, he just came back. This guy Paul I was talking about earlier, and my girlfriend just brought a bunch of coconuts back from Loy province. She was up there last week, And I don't particularly care for coconuts, but Paul does, right? So we'd done some yoga and made some food and we're having lunch. I say, hey, you want a coconut? I still haven't figured out how to open up with it, but I just had full calcium. You have to use the dull end of the knife. You don't use the sharp end of the knife, and they just, full whack, you had the coconut open, right?
It's done.
So Paul's drinking the coconut and the coconut juice or water or whatever, milk or whatever you call it. And he said, oh, this is so good. He goes, I was just in Terminal 21, has a great big cheap food court up on top. Terminal 21 is a mall here in Thailand. And they have food courts. And he stopped buying the coconuts there because he said they were too sweet. They were like, why is this so sweet? This is more sweet. And coconut juice is pretty sweet on its own normally. Mm-hmm. And he found out they were injecting them with sugar. Mm. It's not like a conspiracy to me, but that he believed it. So some Thai guy says, yeah, the stuff that they sell here in Terminal 21, they actually infuse the coconuts with sugar. They put sugar. Why would you put sugar in coconut? That's like crazy. Mm-hmm. They do love their sugar, and I understand that diabetic rates are through the ceiling here.
They are. I remember doing a research paper when I was in university, and the hidden diabetes in Asia was the fact that they're not fat, so that's not the problem. It's they eat so much rice. That's what's causing them to have diabetes because it converts to sugar. Mm-hmm. It's full of carbohydrates. Yeah. And if you look at any Asian, they eat rice with every single meal. Even their desserts are made of rice. Some of their drinks have rice in them. So the consumption of all that rice, which is carbohydrates, turns to sugar, and that's what causes them to have diabetes. Mm.
It's hard to get away from sugar here. I mean,
speaking of Terminal 21, though, Charlie, the best boat noodles we've ever had was a place called Thai Boat Noodles in Terminal 21. You ever had that?
No, but I'll look for it.
Yeah, it's good.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, the rice thing. I would make fun of the Philippines. I had a Philippine girlfriend back, I guess, about 10 years ago, and I had met her in Singapore, and then she went back to the Philippines, and that's how I learned about the Philippines. I went and I lived there for, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it was. And I was out in the provinces, on the island of Negros, which is the same island that Dumaguete is on. I was on the other side of the island, so I was familiar with that area. And one of the things that I began to notice right away is that they all get muffin tops when they're about 30. All the Philippine women, they're kind of chubby by the time they're 40, they're they have big bellies, right? And it's because of rice. Now, the girl that I was dating, Lovely, her name was Lovely, and Lovely was skinny. She was she was skinny. And when I went to the Philippines to visit her, I learned she didn't eat rice. She didn't like rice for some reason or other, which is difficult in the Philippines and Asia in general, because, like you said, they have rice with everything. The Philippines in particular, it's quite a staple of their diet. And she just didn't like it for some reason or other. She's the only skinny girl in town.
That's funny.
Well, there you go. Some empirical evidence for your carbohydrate.
Thais put sugar in all sorts of curries in it. And up here in Chiang Mai, now my wife is really critical of that. She says that up here in Chiang Mai they cook a lot sweeter than they do like down in Bangkok and some of the other places down in the south. So the food up here is loaded with tons of sugar. I can't compare it to anything. But
if you're watching your sugar intake, presume that they're putting sugar in whatever it is that you're ordering here.
Yeah. Well, anytime I go eat anywhere, I tell them no MSG and no sugar. And no MSG, no sugar, and no salt. And those are the three things. And I've been doing that for years. I don't like that in my food. And I've learned to eat my food without it. But, it's just the way it is. But her big thing is when you're talking about boat noodles, it just said boat noodle up here it's like eating a bowl of sugar.
Love them, though. Love them.
Yeah. Do you think retirees generally are more healthier in Thailand? Hell, I don't know. I for a long time I thought I was a healthy person walking around, and it sure fooled the shit out of me. So, I don't know. Uh, that's a hard question to answer. I heard a
There's a
lot of
lot of healthy
stories.
people here, but there's also it's just the way you live. I mean, there's
Yeah,
a lot of guys that come here and just booze it up every single night,
yeah,
and eat whatever they want. They're just big sloths.
yeah,
So I mean, it just depends on your lifestyle.
yeah. Well,
Here's
that's
the
great.
thing: it's very unfair, but this is the way that it works. Is as you get older, your metabolism slows down. So if you continue to eat the way you did when you were younger, if you continue to ingest, especially alcohol is loaded with calories and sugar,
Yeah.
carbohydrates, that kind of stuff that
Mm.
Spencer was talking about. And if you just continue that, even if you maintain an active lifestyle, you're going to put weight on. Your metabolism slows down; it doesn't process it
Yeah.
quite as much. You have to change your diet. So that's the bad news. The good news is you can do something about it. We opened this podcast about me talking about my yoga. I'm a yoga teacher. I've been doing yoga since I retired from the fire department. I've been teaching yoga since I've retired from the fire department. So I'm basically an exercise coach, and I'm 73 years old, and I'm pretty close to my BMI index, what it calls for, which is really skinny by comparison to most men my age, most American men my age. As a matter of fact, when you start getting skinny, people think you're sick because they're used to seeing, men my age being bigger. And it takes effort and self-discipline and exercise, diet and exercise. You can extend the quality and the length of your life if you're lucky. I mean, like Bill was pointing out, you could eat well and exercise and then just get some freaking disease that there's no way of preventing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're maintaining a general level of health, you can maintain a level of fitness. And, it's not fair. It gets harder as you get older, but it is still possible. And I know that because I'm doing it, and it's, so yeah, you have to watch what you eat. I just before the podcast came on, I was eating as I was talking to Bill, and I had a cup of hot tea and 2 pieces of fruit. That was my breakfast, and that's a very light breakfast compared to what I used to eat, and I won't eat again until maybe 5 o'clock. These fast fads are have some value to them. I only eat, between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then I don't eat anything on either side of that window, which is like, you want to characterize that as fasting, you can. But to me, it's just a sensible way to eat. So to answer your question, can you stay fit? Yeah. Is it a product of Thailand? No. It's like Spencer said. It's just, as you get older, you do less and you eat more or eat the same as you used to, you're going to get fat. You got to change your habits, which is hard for us stubborn old fuckers. We like to do what we like to do, but it's worth the effort if you do have that. If you do have that kind of self-discipline, I'm telling you, it can be done because I'm doing it.
Here's another question. Do you think you can better? I think he just answered that. Do you think you can better control your health in Thailand or the U.S.? I can't answer that because I'm here and I don't really think it makes a difference where you're at.
Well, one of the things that would be an impediment here in Thailand is just what we were talking about earlier on, is the poor air quality. So if you're a runner or a cyclist, you're not going to be running or cycling out in Chiang Mai over the last couple of weeks because that wouldn't be very good for your health. Whereas, the United States, one of the things about the United States is a great big country with environmentally, it's a beautiful place. So that is a bit of an advantage. So to answer your question, I think that there are some advantages to, and you have a broader selection of food in the United States.
Plus, in the USA, they have to list the contents of the food, the calories and carbohydrates, everything that you're eating on the menus. And here they don't. So you don't know how much sugar is going in something. You don't know how much oil is going in there. So
9 times out of 10, you don't know what the hell you're eating either.
No.
Yeah, but having said that, and having just traveled across the country, and I've traveled around the States. I visit there twice a year, and I usually, after I visit my family, I'll go someplace else within the States. And other than the East Coast and the West Coast, the people in the middle are fat as fuck. I mean, it's like, the obesity issue in the United States is out of control. So, while the air might be cleaner, there's something else going on there that everyday folks are way too fat. Way fatter than the Philippines. I was making fun of the Philippine girls because they had a muffin top. Yeah, well, there's no muffin tops on the people I'm seeing in the heartland of the United States. They're just round. From top to bottom. So, I'm not smart enough to know what's causing that, but there is definitely an obesity epidemic in the United States and probably elsewhere. I just know the United States because I've been there.
Well, it doesn't help to have the calories and carbohydrates and sugars listed on a box of Twinkies when you're eating the whole box. In the
yeah, really. The warning labels aren't really helping you if you're eating Twinkies at all. I mean, it's like,
right.
What is a Twinkie? I don't think there's anything real in it.
Nothing. Nothing.
That's funny. Oh.
But yeah, that's, getting back to what I was saying, when I was young in the fire department and I was in top physical shape, I remember for a snack, there was a deli right across the street from the fire. So I'd go and I'd get one of those cups of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, right? And eat the whole thing. And it's because when I was 38, I could do that. I was exercising like a mad person all the time and burning these calories off. And I if I did that now, it's like,
right.
It would not be a good idea.
Straight to your belly.
I'm going to list you guys' channels in here in the bottom here.
Charlie Hub. Easy enough.
I'm getting you.
CHARLIE with a space HUB. Put that into YouTube search. You'll find me.
There we go. Wait a minute. I'm going to put them up in here. I had to go to a different channel here to get it here.
You can just type in RetVet for me.
Boom. Let's see what we got here. Charlie is. Here we go.
So
I think I got everything going. There
I was
we
just
go.
talking about the YouTube world with Bill prior to the channel, and I have a dilemma that I have to solve. I've been making my videos that I've been making on YouTube, the horizontal videos. I've been making them shorter. I'm trying to keep them under 8 minutes, and I've been changing my topic up a little bit, that kind of thing. But I've been noticing that my audience, my audience is over 60%, under 55, and I've been getting 25% women, which is unusual for us old guys who make videos. I know a lot of other people that do this, and like the videos I made in the Philippines were 99% old guys, like over 55 and 99% men. And so I was like drilling down into that. And what I discovered is that the reason my statistics are a little bit different than one might expect from an old guy like me making videos is that I make shorts. That's the vertical videos. And they're like, 20 seconds, less, a minute long or less.
Yeah,
and
right.
Just ideas or concepts put to music. I kind of like them. I started doing them and I put them up, and that's where many of my views are coming from now, and that's where the younger people are coming from. The younger people and the women are watching the shorts. So I have this dilemma now: do I start making my regular videos to match the shorts more, because the shorts are just silly? Pretty girls. I have a lot of pretty girls available to me to shoot pictures. I put a lot of pretty girl stuff on the shorts, and and when I do the videos, I do more serious stuff. So it's like I have to decide whether I want to,
You can't do both of them at the same time?
I'm sorry?
You can't do both of them at the same time?
Yeah, talk about really serious dietary issues for old guy and have two cute girls standing behind you, stuff like that.
Oh.
I said maybe.
Yeah. I read something not too long ago. They said that the attention span of people is a lot less now than it used to be. So shorts are actually better because, somebody will watch something under a minute. But when it's like 8, 10, 20 minutes long, sometimes they just, leave.
Yeah.
So you might be better off just making some shorts.
Well, I have a whole new approach that I've been doing, and it's been evolving as I've been going along. I'm making shorter videos in general. I lost you guys. Am I still there? I touched something on
No.
my camera here and screwed the whole thing up.
We got your sound, but no view.
There we are. Am I back?
There
we
you go. You're back
Okay,
now.
so I'm when all the major platforms started imitating TikTok and doing the short videos, I started making them, and I didn't like them at first, but I began to like them. I kind of like putting them together now. They're fun, right? And I have 5 platforms now that I post on. I have TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I joined Twitter's Elon Musk's new blue check mark thing because he expanded the video capability if you do that. And what I do now, that's why I started making shorter horizontal videos so I can put them on all those platforms. So I'm trying to make shorter videos. I'm putting them on all the platforms, and I'm making the vertical ones now too. And I'm just flinging all this stuff out there to see what works. And so I'm on 5 different platforms. I put my stuff pretty much on 5 different platforms. I also have a platform, like I said, I have the girls. I have a bunch of teenage girls that live in this house, and cousins that are coming and going all the time, and they love TikTok, videos. They make them for themselves. So what I do is I shoot more professional kind of pictures and try to put them up. And I put a channel up just for them. And it's called I Am Siam Sassy is the name of it. It's just the girls, and I do one for them. So there's actually 6 platforms that I have up there, and we'll see if any of them get really popular. So far, I'm not as popular as Bill.
To me, I don't like doing short videos. I just, unless it's something that's 30 seconds of cuteness or 30 seconds or funny something. I just don't like putting them up. Lek was making TikTok videos, and I put a few of those up, and they were funny. I mean, we just had fun doing it, but for the most part, I don't know. I just 30 seconds or 60 seconds isn't really anything that interests me. But the flip side to that is I find myself doing that. I'll look at something, I'll see something. Now Facebook is getting into it a little bit too, and I'll see something, I'll hit it, and the next thing you know, I'm scrolling, and I might spend 5 or 10 minutes looking at short videos and somebody else I like. Thank you. Yeah, the food thing, I enjoy doing that. That kind of shows people that the different kind of foods and stuff like that, and I enjoy making shorts of those. When you see the additives used, using palm is very unhealthy. Yeah. You have no control of what they use in the food over here. Somebody in the last live stream that we did, they were talking about a meatball factory in Patumtani that was
God
selling
knows
meat.
we'll go into that, right?
Well, according to him, it was that they were using water monitor meat, and I read something about them raiding it and shutting it down. But that's the second one. They had another one that was in the south that they raided that was soaking pork in formaldehyde and then delivering it to the restaurants around there. So it's good.
I had actually heard a story that they actually called them ping pong meatballs because they used to put borax in them.
Borax,
they were real bouncy. Yeah, they were real bouncy and spongy kind of meatballs. So I don't know. I don't eat those things anyway. So
I don't either. I just
I avoid all chopped meat, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of Thai dishes that have meat chopped up, and the reason I do it is that I can't eat organ meat because of my gout. Organ meat triggers my gout, and so you never know what's in that stuff. If I don't know what's in it, I don't eat it.
They take like those meatballs or those hot dogs, and they just throw it in oil and fry them, and then the people eat them like that. It's just like, dang.
They love them.
That's
The
like
street
two
food.
bad
They have
things.
those. They call them sausage. They look like dyed pink hot dog kind of things.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place. And I would never touch one of them. But
I used to buy them for the street dogs. I'd feed it
people
to the street dogs. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, guys, we've been on an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm sure y'all got stuff to do, and I've got a few things I've got to do this afternoon. I appreciate y'all coming in, and appreciate everybody jumping in and visiting us. Now, next week I'll probably be on Saturday because Sunday I have to check in for my chemo and I won't be here. So we'll probably do it Saturday at 11 o'clock. And so if y'all, but I'll put something up in the channel so you know when we're at. And appreciate everybody come in. Y'all have a good weekend.
See ya.
See you later.
Take care now.